Right then, this is a walk around video, and this is for a very smart looking car. This is a Ford Mondeo. It's a 2.2 Titanium X Sport Estate, so quite a rare beast indeed, and it looks absolutely lovely in white as well. This car's just come in as a part exchange to us against one of our Honda CR-Vs. As you can see here, 61 plate car. It's done 109,000 miles. From memory, I think it's been serviced 9 times, just been serviced by ourselves, or the local garage, and also the had a new MOT placed upon it as well. So should be in fine fettle. The car's in really good condition, with only a few light marks belying its age and mileage, in all honesty. Front of the car, generally, again, very good indeed. Front bumper is very nice, just the odd, very minor stone chip. Likewise, bonnet of the car, again, generally very clean, but with the odd, yeah, as I said, very light stone chip indeed. Near side of the car, I can't see any obvious indentations in there at all. It's very clean on the panel work. Near side front alloy, again, really good, just a bit of a curbing right on the outside, but generally very nice indeed. Near side rear alloy, again, very good, but again with obviously curbing just on the outside edge, which you can naturally expect with the age and mileage of the car. Coming around the back of the car, nice Witter tow bar fitted as well. So the only mark you can see of any note on the car, that chrome trim's just been dented a bit down there, but you could take it off and just bend it back to place, I'm sure, but obviously it's not something we'd be looking to attend to, but we try and pick up on these marks where we can. Offside the vehicle, as with the near side, again, wonderfully smooth in the paddle work, and it's a really handsome looking estate from the back with the sport kit, these lovely alloys, and the spoiler fitted. Just looks fantastic. And then come down, the remaining panels, again, all very good. And then final alloy, as with all the others, generally good, but obviously with just a little bit of marking on the outside edge of the wheel. I'd say the only thing, if someone was going to take the car, I can't do it because my elbows wouldn't cope with it. A machine polish to get rid of kind of the road marks, sort of tar marks that you pick up over the years would be, £20 well spent, I'm sure, because it will come up absolutely gleaming, this car. It's coming into the boot area, absolutely enormous boot, of course, on the car, and unlike so many estates, especially one 10 years old, it's primarily used as an estate, it looks in fantastic condition back here. It's coming to the back, nice wide opening rear doors, absolutely loads of room in the back. It's lovely half leather, the red stitching looks absolutely fantastic. There aren't breadcrumbs on the seats, by the way, it's actually very clean. It's where the leaves blew in when I opened the door, which was really frustrating, but there we go. Coming into the front, again, all very clean and tidy. Seats in really good condition. So finally come to the driver's door card, again, all very clean and tidy. Footwell area is really nice, and the driver's seat, the one that's going to take all the wear, especially on the mileage it's done, it's actually done very well indeed. Just a bit of wear on the bolster, as you can see there, which you naturally expect to see, but in all honesty, in very good condition. So inside the car now, engine's running through this section so the dash can be seen illuminated, as I always try to do. Dashboard, again, is in absolutely super condition in here. Very pleasant place to sit, they really are. Obviously designed to be driven for many miles very comfortably indeed. Then up to the main binnacle, hopefully you can see 109,107 miles, and there are no warning lights on. It really is a credit to the people who've owned this car, because it's going to be far better to look after than most, I'd imagine. So finally, just to show you owner's manual pack, lock and wheel nut key, and also the keys for the quick release tow bar on the back are all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Ford Mondeo. It's a 2.2 Titanium X Sport Estate, and the car is registered YX61OMU, and mileage currently showing at 109,107. The reason we do these videos is basically so that anyone is looking at our cars online in our adverts, they actually get to see the cars we advertise in operation. We feel it's really, really important to show cars in that manner, because we know to our cost, unfortunately, just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which can look perfectly good in the description and in the photographs, but when you get to drive it, you find out it's got a fundamental fault which shows up whilst on the move. So that's why we do it. It's also done on these very quiet country roads, very close to our premises. This actually forms part of the road test route we take customers on. The reason for that's obvious, so hopefully it will then be representative of what you'd feel yourself should be offered a test drive in the car. As I said in the walk around video, this car's come in as a part exchange to us. We specialise in pretty much 90% Honda and 10% Lexus would be the rough ratio. But we obviously take non-Japanese cars in as part exchange, but we do tend to sell them at a much lower price than the apparent retail values are. And that's not a reflection of the cars in terms of their condition, it's just that we want them off the websites very quickly, and just because it's our business model basically. So coming to the car itself, engine starts, first press of the button and settles to completely smooth, even idle. There's no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. They've always been a nice engine to drive these. They're very, very smooth and quiet, and they pick up absolutely beautifully. It's a very linear engine. It's got lots of grunt, but when it picks up, as I said, it's pretty hard to tell it's actually diesel. Aside from the torque it's got, because obviously it's up and going, but you can feel the grunt of it over the sort of the lower capacity Mondeos that I've driven over the years. But a very, very pleasant engine to use day in, day out, and it sounds very smooth and quiet, much as it would have done when it was just a year old. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox. Clutch on the car, absolutely perfect. Bike point is exactly where it's meant to be. No vibrations, no change in engine tone when the clutch is in or out, so all seems to be in fine fettle there. 6-speed manual gearbox. Ford always do good gearboxes. I learned to drive many years ago in an old Ford Escort van, believe it or not, and this gearbox reminds me of it. It's got kind of slightly rubbery actuation to it, which is actually nice. That's not a criticism. It's just got it's got a precision to it, and I always used to think of the time that it was always sort of Ford versus Vauxhall. Vauxhall gearboxes were horrible to use by comparison, and this just reminds me of those days of just the nice quality selection that Ford gave you, and that feels as tight as a drum. Just they feel no wear in it at all. Steering on the car, I mean the Mondeos, the steering has always been brilliant on them, absolutely brilliant. It just works so well with the car. Beautifully weighted, absolutely precise and accurate. It's one of the very best power steering systems out there. I worked for Ford many years ago before I worked for Honda. My first job on the motor trade, and that's when the first Mondeos came out, and it was an absolute game changer. And again, this is reminiscent of it, because what I love about it, when you go into corners like this with a bit of vigour, hardly turn the wheel, just the weighting's absolutely beautiful on it, and it allows the chassis to follow absolutely faithfully with every input. It is a brilliant steering and chassis combination. And I always say that when I'm talking about my Hondas, by the way, because I tend to compare this to the Accords of its era, and it was one of the very few cars that actually held up as being as good, if not better, in some ways. Steering also feels tight as a drum. It tracks absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at all at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit, so all good there. Chassis, as I said, it's just brilliant how they can get the car to ride as comfortably as it does, and it is very comfortable indeed, and yet still have the body control and the adjustability. I mean, I've taken these around racetracks, and my goodness me, what a chassis, what a balance. It's absolutely incredible. But for day-to-day use, for just normal driving, it's the perfect companion, because it is, as I said, so comfortable. But for the more enthusiastic driver, it responds absolutely amazingly. It really does. I'm also listening out for any kind of nasty metallic clunks or groans coming from underneath the vehicle, of which there's nothing at all. It just feels, as I said, incredibly tight. Brakes on the car, just give them a shove. Really good brake pedal on the car. I'm looking for that initial bite, which it's got, but what I'm also looking out for is any kind of pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, and there's none at all. It just feels very smooth indeed in its application. Inside the vehicle, it's been kept very, very well, with hardly any signs of any wear, regardless of the mileage it's done. Dashboard looks pretty much as new, in all honesty. Very nice dash to use, simple, easy, especially compared to modern cars, which I'm falling out of love with very quickly, as I would tend to do. But no, it's all very nice in here. Air conditioning is lovely and cold. You've got your heated screen, heated seats, nice dash design, quite funky looking, but works really well, and very nicely made, I have to say. Lots of estate cars can be quite sort of creaky and groany because of their architecture, and there's no squeaks or rattles in this car at all, literally none. It's a very, very well assembled vehicle, I have to say. As I said at the start of the video, the point of it, I'm not going to go through every single function of the car. That's not really the reason for it. It's just that drive on the vehicle as you're driving along. Is there anything that sort of shouts out to you as being sort of amiss? And absolutely not. It drives wonderfully, wonderfully well. If you have any questions though, don't hesitate, do give us a call.